Okay. Well, okay. Well, game one of the finals was a classic. Nonetheless, who won, who lost? Game one, as a neutral fan, this is a phenomenal game. As a phenomenal game. This is a game where at the end of the day, this goes down in the history books. How many times have you seen really like a game winner in the finals? Um, I've been telling my friends. I can't believe they did not believe that this Pacer team was still good even though they made it to the finals. I've been telling everybody that the Pacers is a good team. It's not going to be a sweep, if anything. Still got my original take Thunder in 5, but I've also said in Denver. I also said the Thunder will be Denver in like 6. I want to say, give or take, and it took them to 7. Um, Nonetheless, let me get off what I got to say first because watching this game, I'm not gonna lie to you. From about the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter, I already knew. What the story was and what the script was. I'm gonna plug the Twitch because that's where I was live reacting to the game. I already knew about 8 minutes in about the Pacer Devil Magic was gonna happen. I seen a couple. It's funny. It's funny because you could see where the turn had made. The turn had tied. They were making the runs coming back, and second half we came out flat. Second, and it's surprisingly, you would say that we didn't when we went up had our largest lead in that third quarter, give or take. The reason I say we came off flat is Shea played the whole third quarter. No, I think the beginning of the fourth quarter, give or take. That's when we had the biggest lead. Usually in the third quarter, that's when the runs go on. Shea played the whole third quarter, and the lead did not extend. It actually got lessened. So I'm like, all right, fourth quarter, Dub come in, iHeart come in, they go ahead and do their thing, and they extend this lead to about the 15. I knew that there was a switch whenever Obi Toppin was hitting them threes. Then on the other end, Aaron Nesmith is hitting them threes. Then on the other end, Miles Turner is hitting some. And when I was watching again, shout out numbers on the board, they had said something where Hallie is dangerous when he is scoring and everybody else is. That makes him dang near untouchable. But this team could still win with Hallie facilitating and the rest is making shots. They shot 46% from the three this game. 46 is crazy. 46 is absolutely crazy to our 30 or 36. And Lou had hit 4 or 5 of them. A couple threes that I know in the fourth quarter that we had taken. I seen one from Lou, left wing, give or take. It rattled in and out. Knew it was coming out. Knew it was coming out. Knew it was coming out. I just knew once that rattle came in and came out, I knew that we weren't hitting another one. We weren't going to hit another one. Something that was intriguing by Mark, and this is where I knew like what I don't know what he was thinking. I don't like Chet Holmgren being on the bench with about 4 minutes left. I don't like that idea of that. Conceptually, you may think that's a good idea putting in all our best guard defenders all on the court at the same time against this team that also has a lot of guards for the most part, or that it plays around the perimeter a lot. The reason I didn't like is we lost this game by what? 1 point? We lost this game by 1 point. There was a lane violation call that had happened. And the reason why, to an extent, Lou had jumped a bit earlier is because he knows that he has to be there to get a rebound, to sky for a rebound if there's a chance. Chet Holmgren's out there. I don't think he skies in for it. Isaiah Hartenstein is in there just for that one rebound purpose. I feel like he pulled the leash on him too soon for Cason Wallace. And I don't think Cason Wallace had even played good enough for him to keep him in the game. What was going to be the option instead? You throw Tyrese Halliburton on Lou Dort, then Lou Dort sets the screens, and then he plays the pick and pops. I think Caso's the better finisher than Lou, but Lou's the better 3-point shooter. But that's who they would have put the matchup on the weakest offensive player. I like Chet in there just for the size purpose and rebounding purpose. Even if he's not even having a great game, he is at the end of the day our all defensive center. If he was relatively healthy, um, I knew that again. I knew there was a turn, and I was mentioning how Tyrese Halliburton, this team is deadly when everybody's contributing. Tyrese is giving assists. Tyrese wasn't actually even handling the ball down late in the stretch. You know what? This team reminds me of very much of like the '04 Detroit Pistons, but the offensive version, where your star player may not play amazing, but you have great complementary pieces everywhere else, to where the star player doesn't need to. He hit the shot. He hit the shot, but the shots leading up to that, he didn't have to hit. Aaron Neesmith led him all the way. Aaron Neesmith led him all the way down there to then where he got to the point where you could get the shot. Um, there's not much like as a fan. Obviously, I'm shell shocked, but also at the same time, I'm not super surprised because I felt Game 1 versus Denver all over this game. All Game 1 versus Denver was written all over this game. I knew it. I knew as soon. I'm telling you, I knew as soon as that switch had happened. This is Game 1 of Denver all over again, and so I'm not surprised we dropped this Game 1. I'm not too surprised. I'm interested to see how they respond Game 2. That's where the difference has to happen, because Game 2 in Denver, and I'm not trying to compare the Denver series so much, but Denver was our toughest matchup, and this is going to be our toughest matchup along with Denver. Um, Game 2 we came out, we blew them out. Game 2 we came out and blew them out. I don't think energy was the thing that we were missing. I don't know. Second half, maybe we got complacent. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I think Dub just can't play terrible again. Dub had a terrible first half, and even the second half wasn't the greatest. He went ahead and had contributed on a couple of points, about maybe 4 to 6 points, which was needed, crucial. But he needs to shoot better. A lot of his shooting percentages came from, I think they looked a little bit better from the fact that he had dunks and layups. We need shots to go down. Chet Holmgren, we need shots and layups to go down. I feel like he came out pretty aggressive, and I liked how aggressiveness he came out. But on top of him being aggressive, he kind of stopped thinking. If you know what I mean. If you get what I'm saying. Kind of had narrow vision. Like, the infamous years of Russ and everything. Sometimes you just get that narrow vision, and I'm gonna get this bucket when the bucket isn't. It's not the greatest shot. Um, Everybody else played for the most part well. That's why like this win is such a weird. Well, this loss, but the Pacer win is such a weird one, because I would expect Tyrese to get another one, right? I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If I'm in that situation, that's one of them scramble moments. I'm throwing two at Tyrese. I'll let anybody else beat me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll let who's out on the court at the moment. I'll let Aaron Neesmith beat me. Andrew Nimhart, even though he was hot. Now I guess you're not mad at it because Tyrese was not. He was cold for pretty much the whole game until that last part. But even the last, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at like the result. The result is weird. Again, I'm on the other. Bro, I seen the same script written again in Game 1 versus Denver, and what leaves me kind of confused is like I don't expect our co-stars to play bad again. I don't expect them to play terrible again. I knew that this Pacer team was not a cakewalk. I knew this Pacer team was not a cakewalk. That the day they shot the three ball amazing all playoff series long, and part of me was thinking in the back of my mind like this Thunder team is better than the Pacers, but so was the Knicks, so was the Cavs, and the Cavs were relatively injured, but so was the Cavs. And even though Dame came back from his blood clot and he then torn his Achilles and things of that type of nature, you would even also say maybe the Bucks was too a bit. The Pacers don't really have the best player in none of their series, but they still ended up making it to the finals. And I was thinking, March Madness, man, March Madness, where you come into the playoffs hot, especially shooting the ball well. You don't know what could happen. Is there any much more that I want to say? That final shot by Shea, I'm not mad at it. Relatively open, mid range. Kind of hard, like he got the ball ballsed up and everything, and even beforehand, he was already fumbling a bit. If I was Mark, low key, I feel like I would have called a timeout. But I'm saying that in retrospectiveness because at the same time, that is the MVP. You trust it. You trust it. I didn't like some of the fact that we went a lot more perimeter centric in the last closing minutes. Again, didn't like that, knowing that we're not a good 3-point shooting team, but you live with that. There's actually a huge point I want to mention. The Pacers in the third quarter had hit maybe 4 or 5 threes to keep them in. All 4 or 5 of them came from the corner. That's been the Thunder's weakness for the past 2 years. Something has to give, honestly. The corner is what we give. They shot great from the corner, and that's what kept them in the game. That is our Achilles heel to this defense, who for the most part is absolutely phenomenal. We caused 19 first half turnovers and only converted on 9 of them. A lot of them was out of the ball or out of what was it? Like play ending turnovers. So the continuation couldn't happen. But the fact to be at 19, is that something that could duplicate again? Game 1 is very interesting because I'm questioning what things could be duplicated again. Can Obi Toppin hit 5 threes again? I'm wondering that. Can Lu Dort hit 4 threes again? I don't believe so watching him. But at home, you don't know. Thing is that now Tyrese Halliburton, is he going to play so passive and not good again? He had a pretty bad game for the pretty much a lot of it, other than that final shot. I question that. Could that keep up? Not sure. Eventually he's going to get one, right? Eventually he's going to get one 20 and 12 game, I want to say. But this is also the best defensive matchups that he will have. I question, is Dub going to shoot bad again? Is Chet going to also shoot bad again? I question really everything else is what it is. Shea, I almost died. Shea had 38 and still ended up losing. Wasn't a good 38 though. Seen him have better 38s. I've seen him have better games, honestly. I'm telling you, I smell another 40 ball coming. And we couldn't get our last thing. We couldn't get that Thunder moment where we went on our runs, or our famous runs that we go on from turnover to buckets, and that right there is what killed us. Again, having all them turnovers, boom, okay, that's completely fine, right? We couldn't convert on them turnovers to go ahead and make that lead. This game should have been a 30-point lead by the first half. We was able to convert our turnovers, the ones that we could do for the most part. Couldn't hit threes, man. Other than Lu Dort, Game 1's in the history books. It's a classic. I'll be honest, it's a classic. I'm gonna catch y'all next video. Game 2 Sunday. Oh man, bro, I'm sick, but I'm here.